We are back at it again today. We are on SAM.gov and we have a new kitchen hood extinguishing systems inspection, testing, and maintenance opportunity. That's definitely a mouthful that we are looking at today. So just think hood cleaning, kitchen hood vent cleaning, okay, to make it simpler to understand. This is due September 3rd. And this is going to be with the VA, and they actually have this set aside for total small business. It's not SDVOSB this time around. For NAICS codes, they are using the 561210 facilities code that we talk a lot about, the Facility Support Services NAICS code. And for the description, they're letting us know that the Roseburg VA requires this service. We've got Darien Justice in contracting. They are giving us, well, this is the contracting office location over in Vancouver, Washington, but I don't think that's where our place of performance is. So we will just hold off and look more into the solicitation for that. Maybe it is, but we will double check. In terms of the attachments, we have the solicitation doc and just the wage termination. So we are jumping right into the solicitation where we are met with our standard form 1449. Okay, they're saying questions are due by 8/27. And then vendor shall thoroughly review pages 28 and 29. We'll go through most of it today. So traditional blue for VA solicitations, and we are met with our pricing schedule on page 4. So pretty quickly here. And they're breaking this down. We can see that there's 2 CLINs per year or per period. So 001, 002, so that's the base period. Then we can estimate how many years by checking 1001, 1002, 2001, 2002, 3000, 4000. So this is going to be a base plus 4. So this is a 5-year inspection, testing, and maintenance service contract for essentially that, again, kitchen ventilation hood maintenance. For these actual CLINs, they're saying quantity 1, unit year. So once per year, annual, they want the service provided. And then on the second CLIN, they're saying 5-gallon pails of formula G510EF cleaning agent. I'm actually just going to punch that into my browser to see what exactly that is. Formula G510. That looks like it's a lot of Asian listings here, even for the Amazon. But this is what they're asking for. But they wanted the 5 gallons. Correct? Yeah, 5-gallon pails of formula. Let's add that. 5-gallon pail. Okay, so again, it keeps coming back to these. So it seems to be it's an Asian product perhaps. I don't know, maybe here. Formula G5 E10. There's just a lot of Asian retailers, perhaps. Exterior rust removal, 1 gallon. And yeah, keeps pulling up. So we're close. We would have to spend more time to really, so this is saying this is Gaylord. So really, if we wanted to dive into that, it's not a huge part of the contract here. It's just 2 of the 5 gallons each. And that's going to be per year. And we'll read more about that within the statement of work as well, but that's just going to repeat. This is our actual, the shipping guys in your delivery schedule here. Like, this is important, okay? Whenever you, and it's usually after the pricing CLINs, just so you know, but you'll have a delivery schedule. This is the place of performance. So this is in Roseburg, Oregon. So we could pull this bad boy up. And so this is, there's kitchens here. Okay, there's new kitchens. They probably did a renovation or an update, something like that. Okay, it's going to be in here. Okay, so this is the general facility where you will be providing the subject service. Okay? Statement of work. Next. As per NFPA 96, the commercial kitchen exhaust hoods need to be inspected every 6 months. This is to ensure the safety of the facility equipment. By not maintaining NFPA 96, we risk failing inspections. scope of work. And that's the background. So scope of work, the Roseburg VA healthcare system has 6 kitchens, 5 commercial kitchens, and 1 main kitchen. Scope of work for the service is to perform the semi-annual inspection, testing, and maintenance, and the annual inspection, testing, and maintenance. So that is interesting to me because it doesn't seem that that totally lines up with this, with the pricing Clint, because they just asked for 1 annual inspection, service, testing, but then they're calling it semi-annual. And let me just make sure our period of performance here are in check. So we've got September 30th, 25 through September 29th, 26, 25, 26, and then for the next 1001, 1002, it goes to 26 to 27. So yeah, we're not missing anything. I would expect that they're calling for this, they should be calling for this twice, or is this quantity 1 inclusive of you providing it twice? That's confusing to me, someone who's just kind of reading this at face value. I would want clarification from contracting, because they're dropping semi-annual here, and then in their pricing, Clint, it's all 1 year annual. It could make a difference between doubling your price or cutting your price in half. So for specific tasks, supply equipment, materials, and labor to accomplish the Gaylord wash down systems. Pails will be supplied to the healthcare system as well, supplying all required safety equipment, protecting veterans and visitors during fire suppression inspection. You will, at a minimum, visually inspect conduit and location of appliances. Okay. I'm not even exactly sure why they're talking about fire suppression. That must be part of the overall semi-annual system inspection, I suppose. All exhaust hoods as part of the annual inspection, testing, and maintenance. See, now they're saying annual. So we have to get clear here. Will be serviced no later than 365 days and no earlier than 330 days. Okay, service labels. So after inspection, they want you to make sure it is labeled with the current inspection tag for the year that it was inspected. Reports and documents. Service technicians are to provide the service visit report in accordance with NFPA. And so there's going to be standards to follow for that. Kitchen exhaust system defects. Defects in the systems found shall be documented and annotated. Security requirements. Government furnished equipment. Government furnished information. The government shall provide reasonable quantities of utilities like water and electricity. Again, the place of performance, period of performance, matches. We've looked at the delivery schedule. The contractor shall submit completed inspection, testing, and maintenance reports within 10 calendar days of the following month. Okay, so that's going to be a big part of your submittal on the performance of this contract. I'm telling you guys that this is purchased a lot. There is a lot of procurement for work like this across various agencies in the federal space. That is one of the big reasons I'm using this as an example on one of our channel trainings here. It's just something to pay attention to, and there's others, of course. What is this saying here? If this contract is awarded using other than sealed bid, it is in excess of simplified acquisition, and they're not doing sealed bid for this. And I think that's why they're highlighting it. Excess simplified acquisition. What's simplified acquisition? The SAT. It's currently $250. So they're telling us this is over $250,000. Again, they're highlighting it one more, or actually, my bad. They didn't highlight it. I had Control F on for simplified. So now as we make our way down, we reach our instructions to offer. So what do they want in our proposal for this? So they're saying this is a RFQ, request for quote. They're saying it is set aside for total small business. Submissions of quotes will submit signed and dated quotes to the office specified in the RFQ, of course, and at a minimum, quotes must show the solicitation number. This is boilerplate copy and paste stuff, guys. The time specified in the solicitation, name, address, phone number. They're bolding relevant past performance. So they're really stressing that they want past performance for this. Vendor shall include government contract numbers and description of work completed if you have government contracts that you're utilizing. You don't have to use government work. But then also they're saying price and any discount terms to be filled out in the B2 price cost schedule. And that was on what, page 4? Yep, so this is that cost schedule that would have to be filled out and completed and sent in with your offer. It's going to be a major portion of it, especially because it is an RFQ. They also want a copy of your reps asserts, acknowledge any amendments, include a statement specifying the extent of agreement, which terms, conditions, and provisions include the solicitation. Return a copy of the SF 1449 form, page 1, and the proof of certification in accordance with sections 4.2.7 and 8 of the statement of work. Now, going on from here, we do have also an evaluation factors section. So the government will issue a purchase order to the responsible quoter whose quote conforming to the solicitation will be most advantageous to the government, price and other factors considered. And what are those factors? The following factors shall be used to evaluate quotes. Number 1, relevance, past performance, and 2, price. The government will evaluate quotes using the comparative evaluation process outlined in FAR 13.106-2, where quotes will be compared to one another to determine which provides the best benefit to the government. The government reserves the right to consider a quote other than lowest price that provides additional benefit. Quotes may exceed minimum requirements of the solicitation. The government reserves the right to select a quote that provides, again, benefit to the government that exceeds the minimum requirements. So if you're going to go above and beyond, and it's something that's going to be a greater benefit, maybe it saves them money in other places, but it makes your quote higher, well, they're saying you could actually win the contract for doing that. And I point that out because there's many of you who think that whoever is the lowest always wins the contract, and that's just a very uninformed, unexperienced conclusion to come to. So I like to point those things out. Then we have our reps and certs. So consistent with a request for a quote, they're not asking for too much more than this as part of our submission for this contract. Now, there is, I saw it somewhere, and this one I actually did cheat a little bit, and I looked at a little bit before recording this, and now I'm trying to go back to find it here in the training so I can point it out to you. This is where they say this is set aside for small business and has a value above simplified acquisition threshold. And so this is base plus 4, right? And simplified acquisition is 250. So that means, we're looking at more than 50,000 per year. But we do have one big clarification that we're not sure about when it came to that pricing table. Is this, again, annual or semi-annual? So I'm really needing to get an RFI. I need clarification from the contracting officer, and that in this case it's Darien Justice, on what's being built into this price. Since they're just doing everything for 1 year, is that 2 semi-annuals, or like what's going on? Doesn't make sense to me. Now, with that being said, I want to look at pricing based on what we have. To just get quick ballparks like I've done on recent trainings, we will be using ChatGPT to help us ballpark. And ChatGPT has expanded. The newest update is here. We can now attach entire solicitations. In this instance, I guess it's only 53 pages, but if it was longer than 53 pages, we would be able to attach that as well. And in the past couple of trainings, I've asked a lot of questions to clarify before asking the AI to help us ballpark into a price. For today's training, I'm going to switch it up, shake it up, take a little bit of a different approach, and I'm going to say the least amount possible, and I want to see what it can do on its own. So I have the solicitation that we just quickly ran through uploaded to the AI. Now I'm going to add a query, and part of that query is, it's going to be short. I'm going to say, please price, and again, please guys, we don't know if the robots are going to take over or not, so we want to use our manners. Please, can you price the contract in the provided, in the attached solicitation? be sure to include a price breakdown. And I'm just going to say for all years. I don't want to tell it that it's a base plus 4. I want to see if it can catch it. So please, can you price the contract in the attached solicitation, please, or be sure to include a price breakdown for all years. And honestly, I mean, it feels a little strange. We also know it's above simplified acquisition, so I'm just gonna roll the dice. I didn't really give it any details at all. Let's see what it comes up with. So it's the VA. They're catching that it includes semi-annual and annual inspections. It's catching the G510EF2 pails. They caught that as a base plus 4. So, I mean, right on the money right here in the overview section. Cost elements considered, 2 inspections per year, technician certified in fire suppression, hood maintenance. It says labor rates assumed to be around $75 an hour plus 30% overhead and burden. Materials are those cleaning agents, some travel and overhead, 3% escalation. So, for this, they're saying the base year is 22. Option years 1 through 4 is 94,800, so a grand total of 116,000. So we know that this is super low if contracting is telling us this has to be above the SAT for all years. But they did do, or the AI did do a fairly good job of providing us a table here of base and all 4 option years. And we can see that they did put a escalation on the years as well. So I'm going to challenge it now, and I'm going to say the solicitation mentions that this requirement is above, I'm just going to say above the SAT. I'm not going to say simplified acquisition, and I'm certainly not going to say 250,000. Let's see what it can get from that. It says you're right. The solicitation specifically states that this is above the SAT. The SAT value as of 2025 is 250,000. Okay, so nailed that. Any requirement above the SAT must follow formal contracting procedures, meaning the government expects a multi-year total value above that level. Even though the actual base price for the hood inspection might seem small, the contracting office may be projecting cumulative contract value and potential mods to exceed the SAT. Well, what's it doing for us? Why it matters. Proposal requirements are stricter, pricing strategy. So somehow it's putting us at 261,000. It says a realistic GovCon compliant pricing should or could push this closer to 260 to 300 across 5 years, which matches the SAT designation. It almost feels like it's just bumping it up just because. It says my earlier estimate fits the scope but doesn't appear to be above the SAT. To align with the language, you may want to consider adding fully burdened costs for admin overhead, compliance, profit insurance, bumping labor assumptions, team of 2 techs per visit instead of just 1 tech, pricing the risk premium, emergency call coverage, etc., replacement parts as well. So then they're saying that bumps it up to be around 50 to 60K per year, which puts us right above the SAT. And honestly, if we know, if it's above the SAT, whatever smaller amount above the SAT is pretty much as low as you're going to be able to go. We know if we're at 261, that's only 11,000 above the minimum of 250. So from a competitive pricing range, we know that that's probably pretty competitive. So I guess something to consider along with any quotes, whether you're self-performing this or if you're working with teaming partners, something to consider along with what their approach is going to be and their pricing breakdowns. But for now, we're looking at $261,200 grand total 5 years as an estimate. And guys, I don't know about you, but it's not an overly complicated one. We have the only other attachment is a wage determination, and we could also honestly, why not? Let's attach that and we'll do one more revision. So, okay, I've attached the wage determination, and I'm going to say I've attached the wage determination with this additional info. Can you please revise the pricing and let me know which occupation code for labor category did you choose to be most fitting for the technicians on this requirement. Ooh, I'm really, really interested in this one. Let's see. So it says, thanks for the WD. Here's the revised pricing. We're using the 233110 fire extinguisher repairer occupation code. Is that a thing? Let's check. Okay, it's a thing. Fire extinguisher repairer 23310 at 2557. And that's what they got. It's done good. 25.57 an hour plus the health and welfare for the fringe. They're saying rounds you out around $30.93. There's also saying that there's alternative possible fits with the general maintenance worker or electrician maintenance workers as well. So this actually, okay. So now they're saying this takes us to 206. So it lowered our price below simplified acquisition again. So I'm going to have to remind it one more time, and this is why this is ballpark stuff. Reminder, the contract value should be above the SAT. And where's it going to bounce us out at? Oh, 339. Okay, so this thing's it's a little crazy, but I mean, these are exercises that I'm just demonstrating to you a little bit for fun, but in all seriousness, something you should literally be pretty much doing on a daily basis if you are active in proposal writing and pricing and overall federal government contracting, because this is really giving you the things to think about. So you take what makes sense and then you build that into your price and your proposal, so that way it is solid compared to something that it maybe isn't totally solid, but it has aspects of what it's providing to you that is solid. And then you're, whether you're self-performing again or working with potential subcontractors, would-be subcontractors, then you have something solid to bounce it up against as well. So, are we 339,000, or are we to the previous value, which was, again, 261,000? Well, we're somewhere in between maybe, but we're going to try to be as competitive as we can, because we know we want to be above 250, but how much above 250? Well, of course, it's really going to depend on what the true cost is, and what our profit estimates were. We didn't really get into profit estimation. How much is it calculating for profit? Mentioned it being above 250K. Did they change the wage determination on that? So they're still saying the base is 25.57 and 30.93 an hour. But they said adjustments to reach above the SAT, emergency call coverage, compliance burden, inflation buffer, and then admin insurance costs, which honestly those things don't sound like they should be that much. But we do see an escalation from the base period of 61,000 to option year 4, 74,000. So, we are seeing quite an increase between the first and the last year too. All things to think about and to, consider. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to break all the rules here, and I actually have another grill hood cleaning. If you're still following along in the video, we're going to go ahead and look at this one. And this one I haven't even looked up. So I just pulled it up. This is for the VA. VOSB, it's going to be similar in scope, my guess, based on the title. This is 561790, Other Services to Buildings and Dwellings NAICS code. Place performance, they are saying Central Arkansas this time. This is the Veterans Healthcare System, 2200 Fort Roots Drive, okay. We do have some listing information. It's kind of a blob, so I'm not going to really read through that. I'll go through the solicitation instead. We have Carmen Williams in contracting this time around, but very similarly, we have a solicitation and we have a wage determination just like the last one. And I haven't even looked at these, like I said, so let's go ahead and pull these up. Now this is a Word doc, and we'll just, we'll quickly look for your learning and for your education, the similarities and the differences. This is another VA contract, and I told you guys, that agencies buy a lot of this type of scope. So again, this is another RFQ. Craig French is going to be the POC for a site visit, okay, mentioned for this one. He would probably also end up being the core on this contract, would potentially be my guess. So this time for section B, they're wanting company information. We're not hit with that pricing table like we were. And this is just contract admin data. And then we get to B3, and lo and behold, another VA blue pricing table. This time we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 pricing CLINs as part of the base period. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. This kicks off, the contract kicks off October 1st. And this is grill hood cleaning, okay? But then they're breaking it down into sub CLINs. So grill hood cleaning, quarterly hood cleaning, Cantina Fort Roots from October to September. Semi-annual hood cleaning, okay? So quarterly, semi-annual, quarterly, semi-annual, quarterly, and that's it. Okay, so whether we're calling that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So whether we're calling that 5 cleanings because it's 1, 2, 3 quarterlies and 2 semi-annual, I'm not sure what the difference is. It's highly possible that the semi-annual cleanings have something, part of their scope that is more robust, and that's only being performed twice a year. Whereas the quarterly, it's more of a maintenance type thing. And then we're seeing this go for base plus 4. So if this is, yet again, another 5-year contract. And the place performance for this is going to be, again, North Little Rock, Arizona, at the Central Arkansas Veteran Healthcare System. This is our delivery schedule. So this is going to, again, it's probably going to be Craig French who's going to be the core, and then our period of performances here for all those CLINs. Yeah, it doesn't look like the location is changing or anything like that, so they're just being formal. Now the scope of works, they did break down for us a semi-annual and the quarterly, and I have not even read through this. So it says that John L. McClellan is seeking contractor to clean grill hoods and fans located at Building 1, Little Rock, Building 76, 170, 202. Contractor shall provide everything: semi-annual cleaning, steam clean kitchen cooking hoods and fans. Fan blades and steam clean shall comply with, again, we're seeing NFPA 96. Quarterly is steam clean kitchen cooking hoods and fans in these buildings, which 76, 170, 202, 1, it's the same buildings. It kind of looks like the same thing. I mean, kind of looks like the same exact thing. So, I don't know. I mean, it's the same exact thing. So, potential RFI, or maybe they're just calling them different things and it's just doing the same thing every 3 months. I don't know. Cleanings, it says cleaning services. Cleaning services to clean the vent hoods. So they're just going to tell us a little bit about general guidance, general requirements. Okay, like I said, we're just having a little bit more fun with this one since this is a bonus for you today, but we're seeing, again, those similarities and maybe some differences between the two compared to the earlier scope that we looked at and the earlier contract that we looked at. But again, not overly complicated. We're seeing emphasis this time on the steam cleaning. It's another request for quote. Could be price only. I'm just going to cheat here. I'm just going to Control F. Past performance, because I want to save some time here. So our instruction offers, again, boilerplate as at a minimum, solicitation number, right? Name, address, technical description. This may include product literature. Okay, any warranties, discounts. Acknowledge any amendments, past performance information when included as an evaluation factor, but is it included as an evaluation factor? Let's see. Yeah. Here we go. So evaluation, that's going to be on page 66. Technical and past performance when combined are, I guess I should read A. Government will award a contract resulting to the solicitation to the responsible offer whose offer conforms to the solicitation will be most advantageous to the government. Okay, same thing as last time. Price and other factors considered. The following factors shall be used to evaluate offers. Technical and past performance. I mean, it's going to be price too, but I don't see that written. Government will evaluate offers for award purposes by adding the total price for all options to the total price for the base requirement. So, base and options. The government may determine that an offer is unacceptable if your pricing is unbalanced. So if you're coming in like really low, for example, on the base year, but then you're making it up on the back end on option years, that's going to be an example of unbalanced pricing. Not overly helpful though. So, but technical, past performance, and price is what I'm going to say because it all matters in this solicitation. But for the technical, it's really going to be, because they haven't really given us anything specific this time, it's going to be back to that boilerplate stuff that we looked at for just a second. This stuff, the instruction to offers. So any terms of express warranty, technical description, talk about the statement of work, reps and certs. You can talk about, well, I guess they didn't ask for the cleaning product in this one, did they? But if there are any products, any product specs, you can include that in your technical as well. Since they're not doing a very thorough, transparent job of telling you what would be required in that technical approach, but we definitely want to have one because it is being called out and requested for in the evaluation report card scoring for this. So guys, I'm running the 90-day bid challenge. We're about to close the doors here in a couple of days for our September cohort. If you want me to work with you to respond to 10 bids over the next 90 days, okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of growth. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be really worth it for your business. Shoot us an email, support@govkidmethod.com. I can give you more details. If you want to learn more, if you're serious, you want to invest in your business right now, it's going to be a good time. You can also visit GovKidMethod.com, where I currently have that set as our homepage, so you can definitely check out the details there if you want. Or to make it even easier for you, I will just put the links down below in the video description and comments so you can learn more about the 90-day bid challenge. If you think responding to 10 bids over the next 90 days would do something massive for your business, I think that as well, which is why I'm running it. Also, if you like my transparent approach, sometimes bold, but I'm committed to bringing you the truth in government contracting from my experience, not from what's regurgitated around on YouTube University, and you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing to the channel. This way you can have my channel as part of your arsenal in your education and your training and your learning in the federal space, because I've been doing it for over 12 years and I've worked with many small businesses. And we've had a lot of amazing things happen, especially over the last 5-6 years working with small businesses. Before that, it was me and the small business that I worked with. So consider subscribing to the channel. We need subscribers. We need to get the algorithm back on our side because we took a big hit this year and I was kind of sick last year. So there's just been a couple of things. I certainly take responsibility for not being as active on YouTube last year, but we're super active. And if you didn't know before I let you go, I post videos every day, Monday through Friday. So if you're looking for your daily dose of government contracting, I pretty much post them in the mornings. Just come to the actual page of my YouTube channel, GovKidMethod here, and you'll see we're posting like 20, 30, 40 plus minute trainings for you every single day, Monday through Fridays currently. And we also just recently brought back the Sam Bids Live episodes, which are 1 to 2 hour long trainings where I get to interact with you live. Certainly nothing compared to the 90-day bid challenge where you're going to have your daily log. We're going to have weekly check-ins. I'm going to be looking at your proposals personally, providing you direct feedback. It's a whole other level of support. But of course, if that's not a good time for you, definitely the daily videos, the live trainings, it's going to be something that's easily accessible and free for now. So guys, hope you liked the video today. Again, subscribe, smash the video, like button rather, drop a comment down below if you have one, if you have a question, or you just want to support me. If you like this, you got something out of it, love to see the comments. And until next time, guys, you got this.